Доброе утро всем, меня зовут Анна. Рада всех вас видеть. Я начну модерировать на английском сейчас, чтобы представить нашего спикера из Болгарии. Если кто-то будет меня плохо слышать, плохо понимать, пожалуйста, пишите в чат, задавайте вопросы, и мы что-нибудь придумаем. Hello, everyone. My name is Anna Egelstrom. I'll be moderating the first session and the first section of the forum today. And I would really love to introduce our first speaker from Bulgaria, Mr. Maxim Behar. Hello, Mr. Behar. How are you today?
Здравствуйте, Анна. Очень приятно. Я чувствую очень хорошо.
Это отлично. I hope it will also stay that way.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for inviting me, and it's a pleasure meeting you guys.
We are very, very honored that you could join us today. We're happy to have you. Mr. Behar is a well-known PR specialist, and he's also chairman and founder of the M3 Communications Group, leading communications company in the field of public relations in Bulgaria. Also, he's the president of the World Communication Forum Association. And the WCFA is a professional organization of communications experts with a head office in Switzerland. Am I right? All correct.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Perfect. Also, I would probably love to hear about your book later. Maybe after your presentation, you could tell us something about that. So just a little spoiler here and there.
Absolutely. Let me see whether I can find the book. Okay. That's it.
Perfect. So if there are no questions from the beginning on, you can also ask questions in Russian. That's totally fine. Вы можете задавать вопросы по-русски тоже. Мы что-нибудь придумаем, разберемся. And yeah, you can actually start your presentation if you feel like.
So thank you very much, Anna, Ksenia. Good morning, everybody. My name is Maxim Behar. I come from Bulgaria. But for the past 20, 25 years, I'm traveling all over the world. Bulgaria these days, because of the virus and pandemic and lockdowns and whatever you name it, of course, it's my home country because we stay in our country's majority of our times because of the travel restrictions. But I was many years president of ICO, which is the World PR organization based in London. Now I'm on the executive committee and I'm chair for the international growth of ICO. And as Anna said, I'm also president of the World Communications Forum based in Davos, Switzerland. So from that perspective, I'm trying to look at different markets in a different way. And B2B communications is something which is more and more important every single day with development of the public communications. First of all, we should put the question whether B2B is part of the public relations. So with the modern development, I think that B2B relations moved much more and more closer to the public relations business. Why? Because, and I don't want to compare a lot with the past, because the past is almost forgotten. But 10 years ago, 12 years ago, B2B business was mainly aimed into personal relations. So in order to sell some product or some service to the business community, it was almost obligatory that you go and that you meet someone and that you develop your sales skills in a way that it was not counted as a communications or public relations. People were calling this sales. These days, we observe some changes in the communications business which allow us, definitely allow us, to make some better communications with our business clients. First of all, on a global scale, there is a huge merge between the three main elements of the public communications business: advertising, public relations, and digital. So, you know, they were absolutely different businesses. Sometimes the advertising agencies didn't talk to the PR companies, and the PR companies didn't want at all to work with the social media or digital firms. But this merge is absolutely, and I'm absolutely sure that in Russia you can see the merge as well, especially in the big cities like Moscow or Petersburg. And of course, there is a big fight between the different managers of companies who will lead the future business, because once it's a merge, then it will be a really big and important business. The advertising companies, they say, we will be the leaders because we own the graphic design, we own the media buying, we have our financial contacts with media, because in the PR business, basically we don't communicate with media, with the financial, with money, we communicate with our ideas and creativities. Then digitals, they say, no way, we will be the leaders of the future business because we have the tax, we have the softwares, we have the applications, we run the social media, so we are the masters. What I want to say, and I do believe that majority of you come from the public relations business, is that the PR experts will be the leaders of the future big merged business, which is coming very soon. Even with the pandemic, is coming much sooner than we expected. Why? Because we are the masters of the content, and every single thing in the modern business now is content. So that's the key point, that all the relations, B2B, governmental relations, media relations, will be managed in the future, but by this big and merged business. The big difference these days is that we, the public relations experts, including the B2B communicators, we were usually bridge between our customers and the media, because customers were coming to us and were saying, dear Xenia, Anna, Nastya, or whatever, can you please help me to reach Komsomolskую Pravdu? Or can you please help me to get an article in Kommersant or in RKB or whatever, you know. So, and then what was happening, that all of us were sitting in our offices and we were thinking how to create a good product in order to get the attention of the media. So that was our main business. Very rarely we were reaching the final customers of our clients. But today, the whole world owns media. All we own media, which is a really revolutionary approach to communications and to the business markets at all. So that's why I call this book The Global PR Revolution, and it was published in the US and selling amazingly good on Amazon, because I really think it's a revolution. And even in the book, I was comparing the 100th anniversary of Великая социалистическая Октябрьская революция, which was revolution at that time, the political revolution, the economic revolution, in a way, especially for Russia. And all we know the history, and I don't want to go back, of course, 100 years ago. But these days, this revolution, the media revolution, the social media revolution, is absolutely equal to any industrial, like in the UK, or political, like in Russia at that time, or Soviet Union, revolution. Because 4.5 billion people have access to media, which never ever happened before. Of course, the big problem is that very small number of the users, maybe not more than 10%, they know how to manage this media in a way that it helps their business. And the big problem is also that all of the owners of social media profiles like Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or Vkontakte or whatever, they own this media and they think they're editors-in-chief, which is not the case. And it brought to the biggest change in our public relations profession, which concerns a lot B2B relations. That we, from a bridge between our clients and media, now these days we are chemistry, our profession is a chemistry between publishers, editors, and reporters. And that's what we do 24 hours a day. Publishers, because we own media. And this is the main characteristic of a publisher. We own media, we own profiles, and we manage profiles of our clients. We advise them how to create a good content. We create content on their behalf. Editors, of course, because we make a content. And this is the main task of the editors, to create a good content, to be well done. Of course, I mean, we can talk about storytelling, but storytelling is our main content these days. But again, this is an editorial job. And reporters, of course, because on social media, on our profiles, people would like to read news. Nothing else. People would like to read news. And the main job of the reporters is to report news. So having in mind that we are publisher, editors, reporters, it changed our role in the companies. We changed our role serving our clients, and we have completely different way to do our job. Concerning B2B relations, for my assumption, it's absolutely very important to know a couple of important or a couple of basic things. I do believe that the worst decision is better than no decision. And I urge you to take fast and efficient decisions. And even if you take decision and you make in your communications and you make mistake, then you can correct this mistake very quickly. But the decision is taken. We have in my company a couple of laws and rules and principles which were created by me for all those years in business. And one of them is the golden rule of 3S, which means speed, simplicity, self-confidence. So speed is crucial. Trust me, speed is the most important thing. Speed of taking decisions, speed of answering emails, speed of participating in discussions online, speed of communicating with your clients. Sometimes clients send you an email and people respond next day. No way. In my company, M3 Communications, there is a rule since you would not believe, since 1999, which is the rule of 5 minutes. And in many offices, not only in Sofia, but in the world, they call it the Maxim's rule. So each employee is obliged to respond to an email 5 minutes after he or she sees it. You know, you can respond just with one word. Thank you, I'll come back to you later. Or well noted, or something like that. But speed of communications is really crucial. Simplicity, absolutely important as well. We are overloaded with such a huge amount of information, such a huge amount of news. All of you guys wake up and start reading something on your mobile phones or your tablets, on your computers, whatever. All of us, even in bed. You know, 90% of you, we have 44 people online now, and I bet that 90% of us, we wake up with this, like that. You know, without, I mean, before even washing our faces and eyes, and we look at the news, we look at the Facebook or contact or whatever. So with this millions of informations, I think that we are absolutely obliged to make everything simple, or as simple as we can. First of all, to have priorities in our business. Waking up, what to do, number one, number two, number three, and then the rest. I have in my company about 50, 55 people, and very often I see a lot of them totally confused how to start, what to do. And I'm telling them very often, make your priorities, make it simple. But on the other hand, when we communicate, and especially with the B2B communications, it's much, much more important. When you communicate to a client who is in business, then it should be very pragmatic. Send an email, use not more than 3 sentences. Write a story, make a title of the story, not more than 7 words. Put the first language, not more than 12 to 13 words. Sorry, sometimes we make it so complicated. We write so, let's say, in a good way, journalistic way, with so many explanations, with so many facts and details. People in the modern world don't have time to read it. So simplicity is really crucial, because this is the way people will understand us. So we have media, we have project, we have client, we have product. We cannot sell the product. Why? Because we cannot write, because we don't know how to write it. And, you know, often I tell, when you write a story, because 99% of your time is writing, and during the writing procedure, you may create ideas, you can think about interesting approaches. So when you write, and then you look at the monitor, or your tablet or whatever, but still it's monitor. When you look at the monitor, what you see your text. It's a great mistake. You must see the face of the reader. And that's what I do. Every day I write. I don't see my text at all, and I'm not interested. I'm trying to get into shoes of the people I'm writing to, or the person I'm writing to. So if you manage to create this reflex, it's a professional reflex, that you write to Xenia, and you should see Xenia on your monitor. I mean, of course, it's hypothetically, it's a metaphor, but that's also a professional reflex. So if you can see Xenia on your monitor, then you will know much easier what does she want, how she will understand this. And this is the point which I'm calling simplicity, absolutely important in the way we write. And number 3, very often it's number 1, self-confidence. Speed, simplicity, self-confidence. I don't know a single case that people manage to sell a good product or service if they don't have the self-confidence. I don't know a single person making successful business or successful project without the self-confidence. So from that point of view, I think that if you remember these 3 S, it may help you a lot for your business. Then, the way you perform, it's absolutely crucial. Online, offline, personal meeting, you should be very, very well prepared for each of your meetings. You must have a research of the partner or the people you approach. You should know everything about them and their products. You should know what they like and what they dislike. Even, I mean, it's a small point, but it's a very important point. You should know how to be dressed, and and then how to communicate with them, whether handshake or not handshake, or these things are small, but very often in our business communications, the devil is in the details, and you know it very well. So if you play, I play this under the shower every morning, and I know my program. Before I go to the shower, I stop by the mobile phone, I see my program for today, and then I say, okay, I have 3 important meetings, and then I start playing. If I say to the client this, and the client most probably will respond to me that, and then I should say this and that. After all those years in business, every single meeting, every single project is like the first one I have, or the first one I had ever in my life. So you must be very, 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 very well prepared, and you must be in a position that usually you will be much more ahead of your partner or of your business stakeholder, or the people you talk about that, about the product and about the sales. Pandemic and the coronavirus, and I'm following how it's in Russia, and it's not the best way. And well, we know in Bulgaria is even much deeper disaster. But it changed no matter of the scale. It touched our business. It changed our thinking. It changed the way we communicate. And from that point of view, you guys must be very well prepared communicating with your clients online. The environment, the background. I don't want to say that mine is perfect. I still don't have time to work on that. But this is very important. The way you speak, the way you perform. So the details online is much more visible than the details offline. I have meetings. I don't know why my camera is not performing well. Okay, now it's okay. I have meetings with my team every day, 4 o'clock, and we make an overview of the day. Sometimes we share new jokes or what's happening in the country and this and that. But I was thinking that this brings, and also with the clients, every day we have maybe 5 to 7 meetings with clients. And we must use this opportunity. First of all, you look at all your clients into their eyes, you see their face, which is not possible in a normal meeting. You enter a room with 20 people, then usually you look at the one who speaks, or you look at the most important people in the room, the manager. So it's absolutely huge advantage to look at all people. And what's more, you enter their houses very often, or you enter their personal space, or you enter their offices. So you can see their furniture, you can see their paintings, you can see how they live. These are details which brings us a lot of advantages to get to know our clients and to make our strategies better. Last but not least, the language. We must understand that, first of all, in my book, The Global PR Revolution, I say that until 2025, the whole world will speak one language. And the name of this language is broken English. And all we speak this. And we understand, and all the people who speak English, you ask someone from Russia, and they think they speak the best English. And then you ask someone from France, they think they speak the best English. But still, it's one and the same language, English. But you must remember, my friends, that in each social media, we speak different language. We may write in English, but this is one language on LinkedIn, completely other language on Twitter, 140 characters, absolutely different language on your Facebook posts, totally different language, the construction of the sentences and the way you approach clients, totally different language when you write emails. absolutely different language on Instagram, because on Instagram you rely much more on the visuals than on the text. So every single day you sit down and you touch your keyboard and you say, I will write now something to my friend on Twitter. Think about the way the sentence must be set in a way that, I mean, verbs at the beginning are the most important, because you have very limited space on Twitter. So different languages are really something very crucial. And I will give you some time for questions, because I see that my time is almost at the end, to tell you my latest definition of PR. I mean, throughout the years, I was creating many definitions of public relations in different times. Today, I'm more than convinced that public relations is telling the truth in a way people understand it. The truth is the most important word. This is the key word in our business. In the past, we could hide the truth. We could neglect the truth, and we could say something which was not true, and we were not very sure that people will find the real truth. These days, in the world of total transparency, the truth is key, because one day you start saying something which is not real, and next day people will discover immediately. But also, if we assume that all we are ethical, honest, and professional, also we have the truth and we would like to say it, we should say it in a way people understand it. Very clear, very brief, very convincing. 2 words about my book. By the way, we should talk about Ksenia Orana, about possible publications in Russia. It was published in many countries, Poland, France, Germany. Recently, I don't know where is the book, recently in Iran, in Farsi. The uniqueness, it's my experience traveling more than 50 countries, being eco-president and meeting the local PR communities, and also the opinions of 100 professionals from 65 countries, which makes this unique, because with one book you can see how the public relations business changed all over the world. And it is changing every single day with a very high speed. Thank you very much. Now I answer the questions. Irina is asking, simplicity, Irina. And of course, all of us, every person, we should have a system how to select the news in a way. And I don't know why my camera is changing. I think that there is some option in this sophisticated software I'm using for the camera.
We see you quite perfectly. It's all right.
All of us, we should have our system, how to select the news which you are interested in. I'm not talking about fake news, because it's a huge topic. It's a topic for another conference, maybe in 2 days, just talking about fake news. In Russia, it's absolutely crucial matter in all over the world, of course, but also in each country in different size. Simply, Russia is a huge country, so it has completely different measurements. But you must select the news which you are interested in. This is the most important. And then to create your own system to choose this news to come to your mainstream profile. You should have the necessary sources. I mean, unsubscribe for all those, excuse my language, bullshits which you can have in your mailbox. You just need to make a good selection. There is no universal formula. I mean, simplicity, I think, is the best formula which you can use. So Christina Matzak.
Okay, you can read my question and I try to fix my camera, okay? And anyway, we can have a dialogue.
You know, we are not allowed to burn out. I mean, we are not allowed to get lost because we are in the business of communications. And if we don't let this unit out of our hands all the time, this is because we need it. If we don't need it, we can throw it out and we can concentrate on Netflix, or we can concentrate on our families or restaurants or whatever. But we need it, and we must have an excellent organization how to use it, which are the priorities of our news feeds and news sources, who are our friends on Facebook or Contact or whatever, what we would like to use. And this is a very personal thing. I cannot advise you, but we are not allowed to get apart from the mobile phones because they are crucially important because of the speed. Imagine, спасибо большое, Christina. So, no technical issues. In the modern world, if we, let's say, have a crisis with a client, 10 years ago, imagine that someone wrote a bad article or a nasty article about your client. And you wake up in the morning, you go to the kiosk, you buy a newspaper, Commerçant or whatever, you open, you see a bad article about your client. Then you call the client and say, Mr. Client, we have an issue, we have a crisis, there is a bad article. And then he said, oh, Christina, don't worry, come to my office, we'll have a coffee, let's see the article. And then we decide what to do. We decide to say it's not true. Then we send a press release. Then we invite journalists to the office of the client. We explain to them. And then we have a press conference later in the afternoon. So we used to have 10 hours to solve a crisis. My friends, today we don't have even 10 minutes. If there is a crisis, it will be a social media crisis. Nobody will go to any newspaper, sometimes on TV channel, but still it's with the TV channel is manageable because you see the TV shot and then it goes away. You don't need to respond, or if you respond, then in the majority of the cases, it will be much worse because someone who did not see the TV show then will read your press release or visit your press event and will learn about that. So from that point of view, if we are about to solve a crisis, or if you need to respond to a client's request, you must have our mobiles with us. This is part of us. This is the tool of our business. So like the workers, they have spades, they dig with the spades and whatever, then we have our mobile phones. So we must have a perfect organization. And I'm working very much on that. But again, this is a personal thing. I'm making perfect organization of my applications, and I have my applications in a brilliant order, and this and that, and I have all my team. I have a special software so all my team is here, so I can dial each of them and the different companies in my group, have different pages and whatever. So again, it's you read about that, you get the best of experience, but also you organize by your personal needs. So Alex Pro, the public relations should not be limited at all. And these days, media relations are very, very small part. If you talk about traditional media, they're very, very small part of our job. Even in Russia, where the traditional media are still very influential. Because you read traditional media, if you think about traditional media, talking about media relations, but then social media is the big power. Social media is the power, You know why? Not because people have different opinions, not because they are interactive, which is very big advantage. Because in social media, you see an opinion and you write immediately your opinion, and then there is a discussion, so it's the interactive media. By the way, the first ever in the history interactive media. But because a simple reason, first time ever, there are measurable media. You know, you publish an article on the page 9, down the right column on the left in Commerçant. And then you ask Commerçant, how many people read this article? And they say, oh, we have 350,000 circulation and 4 people are reading this average. So about 1 million read your article. Bullshit, nothing like that. Nobody can prove this. You know, but on social media, they're measurable. Clients trust social media. We trust social media because you can see how many people read your article exactly with their profession, with their location, with their average age and male, female, everything. So of course, public relations are media relations these days, even in the B2B business. In the past, B2B business was that you visit the client, you talk to the client, you convince them or the customer. These days, you must create such a strategy. And this is one of the most important things in B2B business. I'm telling to my clients every day, you want to go to someone to sell you a service from the B2B point of view, then this someone should know about you much more in advance before you came there. Because if you want to promote this pen, or what is this? It's a Mont Blanc. So if you want to promote this Mont Blanc somewhere, then, okay, Mont Blanc is a well-known brand, but this brand, okay, this is Schneider. Nobody knows that Schneider produces pens, whatever. You must make, and mainly through social media, in a way that you go to the client and you say, good morning, I'm the sales manager of Schneider pens. Then this guy should stand up, say, oh, Schneider pens, of course. I've read about them in the media, in social media. Oh, it was on Facebook and it was on LinkedIn. Thank you very much for coming. Please take a seat. So this is our job, my friends, to create such an environment that when our client or us, we go to the customer should know in advance a lot about our product. And then, it's very easy to find Irina Kazak, who will be our customers. So first of all, now we have the pen again. The people who write, the people who would like to have pencil or pen, which is writing in a long run very easily, which is this one. And then we go to different Facebook groups about writing and about writing instruments, which are a lot of them. Because, you know, I'm taking as an example pen, but of course it should be anything, mobile phone, computer, car, book. So we go to the relevant societies or communities on social media. And I'm sure that Contact or in any other Russian social media are thousands or hundreds of thousands of them. And then you make our research online, not only Google, but any other search engine. So it's very, 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 very easy, but you must put a lot of efforts. You must be very concentrated. And the last question, industry media, online. My friend Kirill, there will be not any more paper media. And you know why? Not because the journalism is bad. Not because people don't like to touch the paper and to feel the smell of the ink. Or they, the old people usually say, oh, I would like to feel the paper and the smell, and especially with the books. I don't read paper books. I haven't read a paper book since decade, if not more. I always have next to me my Kindle. And in this unit, I have thousands of books, but going back to the industry media, it will be specialized online media dedicated on gas, logistics, cars, technology, healthcare, whatever, name it, books, everything. And the printed media will disappear, not because they're bad, not because they have bad journalism, but because one single reason: advertisers will not pay to the printed media, even to the industry media, because they will pay online media where the advertising is cheaper, advertising is interactive. Their customers, let's say, we have an media about cars. So you publish your full page advertising on media about cars. And this is a static media. It's a one-way media. You see the advertising, then you close the page, you say, okay. On the online media, you just click and you go immediately on the website where the cars are selling. And you choose your car, or you choose your information about the car. Not even because of the interactive, but as I said, social media are measurable. So the advertisers will not publish their advertising in the printed media. So how come they will survive? There is only one way: to be very expensive. So if the media is very, very expensive compared to any other media on the market, then nobody will buy it. So I strongly believe in social media. I strongly believe in what I said, the global PR revolution. I really think it's a revolution, and we must think in our revolutionary way to develop our business. Spasibo большое. I just want to say that this discussion can continue in any social media you wish. I'm the easiest person you can find on social media: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, whatever you choose. And that's the way Anna Egelstrom found me on Facebook. So if you want to continue this discussion, I'm always yours. And I just want to remind what, I don't know whether you know this, but the previous generations, they were saying, Bulgaria nie za granica, I kurica ne ptica. I love you. Thank you very much.